So we understand that Vice President Kamala Harris is hunkering down during her debate camp for about 5 days with her team in Pittsburgh. She's come out a couple of times over the weekend, but no, real press conference or discussion with anybody. She's revealing what she expects from former President Trump tomorrow night, though, on the radio. This was on Friday. Watch this.
There's no floor for him in terms of how low he will go. And we should be prepared for that. We should be prepared for the fact that he is not burdened by telling the truth.
Bringing Trump 2024 senior official Corey Lewandowski. Corey, what's your reaction to that, that he will go low, she says, during this debate?
Well, if she means that he's going to talk about her failures, that she's dangerously liberal, that she's flip-flopped on every major issue, some people call it a lie, that she now is for the border wall since she's been against it, that she is now in favor of no tax on tips before she was against it. If she's now saying that she's for fracking, although she said the first thing she would do is ban fracking in Pennsylvania, if that's going low, then yes, Donald Trump is going to go low as it relates to the issues, because there is a clear dichotomy between the Donald Trump vision for America and the Kamala Harris vision for America.
What about some people fearing that it will be personal attacks? He's running against a woman who is a person of color. Are there going to be any jabs related to either one of those areas?
I don't think Donald Trump has to attack her personally. We have so many differences of opinion, Martha. When you're as dangerously liberal as she is, it's very easy to point out all of those flaws. And she can run, but she cannot hide from her tenure during the Biden administration. So when you look at what this debate's going to be, it's going to be the opportunity for Americans to see two candidates who have a fundamentally different view of what this country should look like. One believes we should not prosecute people who come into this country illegally. As a matter of fact, we just have an open border, the only civilized, the only industrial country in the world that would have one. And the other says, let's build a wall, a big, beautiful wall, and we'll put Americans first. So there are clear policy differences. These are not two candidates who see the world in the same view.
Yeah, I think that's been clear, and it'll be interesting. She's inched a lot closer to him on a number of things. He said, we should get her a MAGA hat the other day. So I don't know if we're gonna hear that, or if she would consider that going low. This is Ned Lamont, the governor of Connecticut, who I just spoke with, who's also a surrogate for the campaign. Here, when I asked him, I said, look, this isn't working because the polls are so tight now, and Trump has gained a little bit in a number of these polls in recent days. It's not working for her not to be out there doing press conferences and interviews and speaking to the people. And here's what he said.
You're going to be so exhausted by both candidates at the end of 60 days. There'll be so many press conferences and public events, the debate coming up tomorrow. I think you're going to know more about these two than you've ever known about any candidate. And by the way, Kamala, she was there with Joe Biden. She has a track record over the last 3.5 years. I think people have a pretty good sense of what she's about.
So what do you say to that? There's a couple layers in there. What do you say to that?
Look, I don't think any of that is true, and obviously that's a spin from their campaign. People don't know who Kamala Harris is. She has not taken the opportunity to come and talk to the American people, Martha. You know that for the last 50 days, she has done exactly one sit-down interview, and she spoke for under 17 minutes during that period of time. We don't know who her running mate is. They refuse to answer questions. He says that he made a grammatical error when he talked about carrying a gun into a war zone. That's not true. That's a lie. The American people don't actually realize how liberal Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are. But this is an opportunity on this debate stage tomorrow night to highlight that. So, this notion that everyone's going to know who these two candidates are over 60 days, the reality is, and the governor's wrong, early voting is starting very soon. So it's not 60 days before people are going to the ballot. It's actually much sooner.
Well, it is important that this debate is going to happen before early voting starts, because there was a delay in North Carolina. So one gets in under the wire. But I'm curious from your team, from the Trump team, are you looking at this as if this is the one and only debate? Does former President Trump believe this might be his only opportunity to go toe-to-toe with her? And I would also add that we certainly hope it isn't. We hope they do a debate with us here at Fox as well.
Well, Martha, as you know, Donald Trump did a town hall meeting on this network just last week with Sean Hannity when we were supposed to be having a presidential debate. Kamala Harris doesn't seem to want to do that. She continues to implore the Joe Biden strategy of hiding in the basement, avoid all questions, and try to make this a referendum, not on Donald Trump's policies, but on his personality. And the American people wake up every day and say, we were better off 4 years ago than we are today. So as it relates to that issue, we're happy to discuss our issues and the contrast between us and Kamala Harris with the American people every single time. She seems to want to avoid that. So it may be the only debate, but I can tell you this, it will not be the only time Donald Trump is answering questions, either in the long form in a podcast or in a town hall environment or from reporters. It may be the only time she does.
Well, we look forward to that, and we hope there'll be more of both. Corey Lewandowski, thank you. Always good to see you. Thank you for being here today.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.